Welcome back, everyone. Storm here.
Jessica here.
Jessica, you have to tell us about your drink. I'm so excited about this.
It took me 6 episodes of cocktails to figure it out, but the Loki drink is the Paloma, and here's why. On the outside, it's hard, brittle, glass, and green. On the inside, it's pink fuzzy grapefruit juice. But it's still tequila in it, so watch yourself.
Best drink. I am totally happy.
Perfect Loki drink.
Yes.
Loki in a nutshell.
We need to take all the drinks that you had every episode, and we need to make a list so people can also make your drinks and celebrate Loki and the cast or the characters, and except Miss Minutes. Although I'm sure that drink was excellent as well.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so we are excited for the finale. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you, Jessica, for joining me today so we could watch it together. And I'm glad your kitty's doing good because her kitty was sick. And we love her cats. We love her animals. And he's the one who usually visits us, right? He usually comes out your gray kitty and he likes to hang out, and I think that's adorable. So I'm hoping that I love his name. Perfect name.
He did it. He controlled it.
I know. That was the last second of last episode.
So now what's he going to do with it?
A lot of work. I feel like he's going to have to time slip a whole lot in different moments.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has to convince everyone. Okay, this is what happened. Fast forward. Ooh, look at this intro.
Yeah.
From Miss Marvel. Different music.
Oh, this music is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, now I really like him because now we know he was just quirky and not a bad guy. Ooh. Ah.
Now he time slipped into himself.
Yes.
Which is new.
You okay? Yes. We have to get Tanya out there.
You're still letting him go out. I don't want to see this again. No.
Squelching.
Oh, in the strings.
What happened?
He's gone. It's over.
What do we do?
The temporal radiation is just too high.
Let's go faster this time. Ready?
This is great.
Oh, God. Something that was so disturbing is now, like, funny.
Get in, get suited up, get down the gangway as fast as you can. Load the multiplier, hit the green button.
Alright, this isn't... No.
Let's keep moving. Let's go a little faster this time.
Can you go even further back so you can talk about this?
He's gone
Again. A little faster.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh! Oh, sick. Oh, this guy.
Loki,
Get back to the professor.
Give it back.
But it's gonna take some time to adapt my temporal multiplier.
How long? Centuries.
Okay, let's do it. Wow, he's gonna really commit. He has to. Wow, century? Are you kidding me? What?
Loki, I'm not questioning your surprisingly advanced.
To save scientific events.
Whatever you do, do not set the multiplier down. I will roll off the gangway. Okay? Don't forget.
He's definitely done this so often. This is
Wild.
wild.
Yeah. To even think, we gotta talk about this at the end, but
Avert the temporal decay.
Loki committing himself that long.
Yeah.
Don't forget to latch his helmet. That's latch his helmet. Thank you.
He's kind of adorable.
It is. I love this. Cool, confident Loki that knows his shit. And he's not bullshitting either.
Be brave. You're being so brave.
I don't know. He can't make it. He's taking too long. Wow, he made it far.
In front of the other.
God.
You know it. You'll be at the end of the gangway. Well done.
God, this is so, like, tense.
Oh, wow, he made it there.
You made it.
Not yet.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong, I'm sure. Loki's probably
No,
experienced
don't
this.
put it down.
Don't put it down. No, he put it down.
What did I tell you? Do not put the multiplier down. It will roll off the gangway.
Now he has to press the
Green button, right?
Press the green button.
Right. Listen to me carefully. Hit the green button.
He didn't push it all the way in, though. Maybe he's colorblind. Okay.
Nope, he did it. Okay.
Hit the button. It can be a little sticky.
The device wasn't fully in.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
It did work?
Falling apart.
Oh, he made it!
He made it!
Oh my god, I did not think he was gonna make it! I feel like that was still too easy. And not too easy. I know he worked really hard.
I know.
Scared. Oh, see? Bad.
Yeah.
These readings are off.
What do you mean off?
You'll say something.
The branches of time are duplicating and expanding at an infinite rate.
Prune the branches.
I don't understand. We'll always fail.
Why do we need the loom?
I know, I feel like we need to get rid of it completely.
I feel like...
Always.
It's almost as if, as soon as the timeline started branching, this was doomed to happen.
Oh, so he went back even further?
He's going back even further.
Yeah. She's like, what?
You don't want this.
Crap. We see a battle again. Ooh, that was a good one. See you soon.
If you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me.
Oh, I don't know where this is going.
Don't.
I really hope not. I swear, if he kills her, he can't. Whoa!
If you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me.
No!
Don't do it, Loki.
I know, I don't... Oh my god.
If you want to stop me, you'll have to
That would be a terrible ending.
I'll have to kill you again. Why do you never try to stop her? Fight back. Do something.
What? What?
So, how many times have you been at this?
What did you do?
Oh, come on, you're not telling me you haven't learned how to pause time yet.
Huh?
I figured you'd be way past that.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Don't worry, lover boy, she's okay. But she is an eyeline a little bit, so why don't we just,
Oh, he just stopped it. He just figured it out. He's a fast learner.
What makes you think? This is the first time we've had this conversation.
The temporal loom is a failsafe. When the loom is overloaded with branches, it deletes the ones that aren't supposed to be there. Everything except the sacred timeline.
I'll change the equation.
I'll break your loom. But the loom prevents a brutal war where nothing survives. Look, not even the sacred timeline. Okay, let's try it this way. Every moment
He's gonna break the wheel.
He has to.
you've
Game of
ever
Thrones style.
experienced,
Oh, is he gonna try to push him to kill her?
and around we go. Let's see it. Make a hard choice.
No.
Break the loom and you cause a war that kills us all. Game over. Or kill her.
Wow.
We protect what we can.
Nope. Don't do it, Loki. Break the loom.
I don't think he can. I know he's been around for a long time and committed to this for centuries, but he can't. No way.
What are you gonna started, which is claim my throne. Who's the timekeeper?
Yeah, prune is the nice word.
Takes months on the flow of time. Yeah, when they're busy untangling the epilogue from its infinite clutches. I know. All because that one hunter. He lost sight of the big picture.
No. They're,
Gotta
no.
keep the big picture in mind.
This is pre-awakened Mobius. You can't
yeah.
ask him for advice.
Yeah.
Whose purpose is more burden than glory. Trust me, you never want to be the guy who
Go talk to
avoids it 'cause
Steve.
You can't live with the burden.
Where's Rogers right now?
Right.
How do you live with it? Scar tissue. What happened
Jeez.
to your partner? The hunter who pruned the boy when you couldn't. Things worked out fine for her. She actually became a judge. You know,
Rinse
she's the reason you're here instead of dust in a TVA vent.
Is this like what it looks like when he's time slipping?
Oh, maybe.
You're outside time.
How?
I finally learned to control the time slipping.
Not giving you my blessing if that's what you're waiting for.
What do I do? It's the sacred timeline. Or nothing.
It's not enough to protect the sacred timeline, Loki. Even down there, it's full of death and destruction and injustice. Do you really want to be the god who takes away everyone's free will so you can protect that?
But what good is free will? If everyone's dead.
And who are you to say we can't die trying? Who are you to decide we can't die fighting? You're replacing one nightmare with another. I grew up in apocalypses, Loki. I've lived through enough of them to know that sometimes it's okay to destroy something.
Talk to awakened Mobius. Talk to B-15.
Pause time and talk to them all. Right? Like now we can do that.
Yeah. Explain the situation and get a full range of input here.
Or if anything, if it's going to be sad, pause everything and just have a fun adventure together. We're just like friends.
I know what kind of god I need to be.
Crap.
For you. For all of us.
Oh no! What's he gonna do? He better not spaghetti string!
This can't.
That would be ridiculous if he spaghetti strung.
One last hair flip before he goes out.
I know! His signature move. Whoa!
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
It's like revealing him.
Yeah. And it's like old school looking. It's like not as like super shiny.
He is.
Like ancient.
He did it. He destroyed the ring.
Whoa! Yeah. Wow, it's just all over the place. He just grabs the... He's giving them energy?
This looks beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I love how it's all green, his theme. I love his shoes.
I know.
Like stairs, that's cool.
These are supposed to be the timelines. Is he putting Loki in all the timelines?
I don't know. It looks like he's giving them energy or life or something.
But it's his. It's Loki energy. It's green. It's
Yeah.
Is he making sure every timeline has a Loki so that every timeline can be like...
Yeah, so he can have fighters, people to help him out.
alone at the end of time?
This is so sad. I hope he doesn't have to stay here. Because when he lets go, the energy stops flowing. So unless he is downloading Loki's into timelines, I think it's more permanent.
I mean, this is like mythological god right here. This isn't Marvel god. This is like some real...
He's freaking giving everything life.
He is. He's powering...
I got chills from it.
I'm like getting teary-eyed.
Me too, because I'm like, this is...
Oh my god.
This is like a permanent... Wow! It looks like...
It's a tree! It's Yggdrasil!
Yes, I was going to say the tree that Thor talked about, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh! I need more.
616 adjacent room, but we're all good for now.
That's all we can ask for.
Oh, good old 616.
I mean, I don't want him to leave, but he has kids.
You think the TVA is gonna miss him? Tired, washed up, landless, with a heart of gold.
I think there's one or two who will.
Oh, they're
Everyone's
alive.
there, yeah. That's good. It's really good.
Is that new handbooks?
Yeah. Maybe Loki also helped in that too, because he's been studying for so long.
Yes.
Oh, there she is. So she's going to be with the other Lokis at the end of time. What does that mean?
Relics of the TVA.
Yeah. Did that branch to get there?
Oh, there's Elia.
Yeah. What? So that's left for us to assume.
He went back to his kids.
Good.
So is this him, or is like he watching this? He's watching this.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Let time pass.
You what? Yeah, this is so heartbreaking. It's like it's a good thing, but it's so sad. Oh my god, he's just there alone. Wow, that's insane. Holy crap, that's how it ends. He saved us all. He's overlooking everyone. So he paused on his name. And the music, it has more of like an adventure type sound
like it's
to
all
it.
like heroic.
Yeah. Oh my god, like
I
have so many
Loki's
mixed
not there, but
emotions.
Loki is there. Like he's there with them.
he
I don't
is
think
like
no.
just hearing Mobius's voice at the end there, right when we see Loki with the timelines, it's like he's looking over them, he can hear them, and he's like the overall god, like protecting everyone and keeping everyone alive, and he can look into his friends time to time. That's like, it's beautiful, but it's so tragic too. Like he gets the throne. He doesn't want the throne anymore, I know, but like he's always talked about it. And even the recap in the beginning, we were seeing all these moments. He was saying that he was destined to have the throne, and not even realizing, because his memory was probably erased too. Like he was always meant to do this, and Kang seemed to know that, or He Who Remains seemed to know that, because he's like, "Oh, you're time slipping," and I feel like he was always fated to do this, and you know, He Who Remains changed it up so he could have control or something.
It's still wild to me to like that it's going with this like god ending, because I feel like usually it's we're gonna have a big battle. It's very like superhero. Like even the gods of Marvel aren't very godlike. They're superhero like.
Yeah.
Like this was like for real like mythology. There's a man sitting on a throne holding the timelines together that make up his like that is
mind blowing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed that because they put it in such a visual, like, literal sense for us to understand, and it was still so
beautiful.
powerful. Yeah. And the green, like, that's his signature color. Like, that's what we know him as. And I just love how they made it all green. But I love your theory on, maybe, not that you said downloading, but I was thinking downloading, like, maybe he's like touching the timelines and putting variants of Loki in each timeline, so that way he can like recruit all these people to help fight all these other Kangs. Oh, look at the Loki is disappearing. Beautiful. I mean, I'm still sad though because he's by himself, and okay. There's just so many things to say.
I know. Like, where do you even start with all this?
Okay, I'll start by saying I really appreciate that they made a Loki TV series because he's one of my favorite Marvel characters, if not my favorite. And amongst all these other people who died during Infinity War, throughout the Marvel universe, you know, he was a very shocking kill. And I was so upset, you know, a lot of people were, that he died. And I just wanted so much more for him. I wanted his glorious purpose. And so to actually have a show dedicated to him and 2 seasons of it, like, thank you. Absolutely amazing. I'm glad he's back. It wasn't the end for him just at Infinity War. So that, is great. And seeing him go from, you know, him being selfish and really trying. Sorry, Maui keeps trying to go after my stuff over here because he wants my attention. So I have to bring him over because he keeps pulling my wires and he's gonna pull the recording, the camera. He's gonna make it stop recording. So he's like,
just curled up.
Love me.
They can talk to each other. You can see my little curled up in a little ball over here.
Oh yeah, he's so cute. And so I'm really happy they made a Loki series, and for him to have such an ending, it is very fitting. I love the fact that he did not want a throne anymore, because that makes a better leader, as we've seen in many stories.
He didn't want one, but he got one.
And it's not like the one he would want, but at the same time,
it's the one he needed to do, which is
classic
storytelling.
Honestly, I mean, there are a lot of great stories in Marvel, but I don't think you can get any better than Loki here, because so much in this episode alone happens, and the fact that they could put so many complicated things into one episode, and you can actually feel the weight of it, where he trained or studied for centuries. He committed. Like, there's just so much to say there.
The patience, the dedication.
Yeah, I mean...
And, like, so much that he didn't even talk about, because there's the moment where he's just like, what makes you think this is the first time we've had this conversation? So, like, how often did that happen?
I know, and I just assume many thousands of times, and...
Yeah.
And how they both were talking back and forth, where Kang, I keep saying Kang, but He Who Remains, understood at that point, you know, like, okay, so he's already doing this, so he's way beyond... He knew that was going to happen, and he just knows what level he's at this point. It was very fascinating. So I just think Loki this whole time was meant to do this. Like, he, of course, like now, but I think this has been a cycle, like he's done this before, and he was always that god that controlled all the branches, but somehow He Who Remains took it over, because even though he was being nicer and wanted to get rid of the other Kangs, he still wanted to have some kind of control, because that's who... a lot of his character, not all of them, not like Victor, but a lot of his variants are like that, where it's all about having control more than Loki. So anyways, like, Loki learned that he really didn't want a throne. He wanted his friends. He really loves his friends, and he wanted to be good. And, you know, he did bad things for attention, and he was wronged in many ways by Odin, and, you know, he was trying to find his purpose. So... for him to get the throne, it's, what's the word? Like, it is ironic, but, and you can tell that he knows he's where he needs to be. It's important to him, but he also looks sad. Like, he knows he has to do this, and he's
he's still removed.
Yeah, and he did everything that he meant to do.
He who's removed.
He who removed. Yes. So for him to actually... be this amazing hero, honestly. I mean, he studied for centuries. Like, think about that. I mean, he has time slipping abilities. He has time to
pausing.
He could do whatever he wants. He could be greedy. Maybe he was greedy for a century and did whatever he wanted, and then went back into studying. I mean, I think he was focused on saving everyone this whole time. So doing centuries of this,
by himself too, because he's with these other people, but none of them can experience it with him. Like any time loop story, we all know, only one of them can continuously learn and grow and remember. So I mean, he could have hundreds of thousands of inside jokes, and it wouldn't matter with these people because they're not going to remember the next time. So he has to that has to have been lonely.
Exactly. No one can even appreciate what he's doing, really, because no one even has any idea on how long he's been doing this and how hard he's been working at it and not giving up. I mean, trying 10 times, let alone 100, 1,000, millions of times. And he stuck by it the entire time and stayed focused.
For his friends, because he loves them.
Yeah.
He's a big baby.
Yeah, he's a big baby.
He's a big softie on the inside.
He is. He really is. And it was a great ending. I am very sad, but it was a very great ending for him, because I got worried at the end, and I'm sure a lot of people did, where I thought he was going to have to die and his energy or life source was going to make his own loom that could handle the multiverse. But I'm glad he's still a physical being. And it's very literal with us, where he has his throne and he's just by himself holding all these timelines together. And jokingly, that's going to suck when he has to use the bathroom. He's a god. He doesn't have to. He can figure it out.
I was really worried he was going to make the I'm going to put this in quotes, wrong decision, because I felt like everyone he was talking to was when he was talking to He Who Remains, he was talking to Mobius. I felt like they were really pushing him towards, you gotta kill Sylvie. You gotta just let it be. You just gotta I felt like everyone was trying to push him towards that decision. And in retrospect, you can see him learning from that and taking the correct lessons.
Yes.
So that, he's he's gonna do what needs to be done, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really worried for a while that that's what it was going to be like. Well, I'm going to keep the time loom around, and I'm going to kill Sylvie, and I'm going to listen to He Who Remains, who is an obvious bad guy.
I know. But that's the fun thing, because variants are different. And yes, Kang is a bad person, and He Who Remains became even more interesting this time around, because he, of course, knew a lot more than what we knew. And I thought, when, Sylvie did kill him, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I did fully believe him that he was telling the truth. And then here, there is so much more that he's not telling, and exposing that with Loki, I was like, oh, okay, how interesting. Well, that makes him even, he's dangerous already, but you can't believe everything, it's just there's always so much more to it. So for Loki to go through all of this, it's just absolutely incredible. I mean, for him to learn all of this and be the master behind it all. I mean, did he have his mind erased at one point? Because, again, I'm stuck in the idea that he was always meant to do this, and he did this before He Who Remains took over and made a sacred timeline. I feel like he did this a long time ago.
I don't...
Yes, or maybe not. Maybe it's a whole... maybe not. Maybe this is supposed to be just a whole new reset. You have to break the wheel, like you said, and this is the way to do it, of course. But I just kind of thought it was like a cycle. But you have to break the cycle.
I gotta say, one of the things that's striking me right now is, redemption. I feel like we talk about, this a lot in movies and TV shows, and people are, horrible, and then... but all the fans love them, so they give them, a redemption arc.
Yeah.
And I feel like usually the redemption arc is either, oh, I died for this, and you're like, okay, is it really redemption, though? Because you didn't work for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to live through your mistakes, whatever. Or it's just, they're on the good side now, and we're all just going to forget about the things you did. And, we jokingly hand-wave a lot of the stuff that Loki has done, eyeballs and killing most of New York and stuff like that. But I feel like this is a real redemption for him. This is legit. He is dedicating and serving himself towards this greater cause.
Yep.
And he is earning an actual redemption. He's not just
agree.
hand waving it.
I totally agree. And not only he didn't kill himself. Like, he didn't sacrifice his life. Like, he did. I mean,
Yeah.
but now he's going to live like this forever.
Yeah, he's going to have to suffer. Like, he's going to have to go through it. He's going to have to earn it each step of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, and this might be a permanent thing for him, which is a wonderful, like, it's sad again, but it's a great, powerful ending for Loki, because he still kind of gets what he wants, even though he has changed a lot, but he is protecting and saving every single person. He is the most powerful person, the biggest hero, because again, he committed all this time to do this, to figure it out, to save everyone, like centuries among centuries, like however long he took, like to stay in that mindset the entire time. Wow. I mean, even the best of the best, I mean, you got to like have a breaking point at some point. And, you know, it's one thing to do your whole life of a normal human span of, 90 years or whatever, but we're talking like a lot
forever.
longer. Yeah, we're talking forever. And so him like committing to learn how to save everyone for that long, and then to take the mantle to actually sit on that throne where you're going to suffer alone, be by yourself.
It's a burden. He is burdened with glorious purpose.
Yeah, that couldn't be said any better, Jessica. You said it perfectly. So that was like a terrific ending. And, you mentioned battles, and you're right. Like sometimes, or a lot of times in Marvel, we always end with like this crazy battle at the end. And for this particular episode, I think it was structured very well, because we even had those moments with Sylvie and him fighting. Like that was kind of like a semi-battle.
We still had like action.
We had some action, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of dialogue in this show, in this series, well, this season, really. A lot in the last one too, but we had a little bit more action. And this one, like the writing, like you said, has been phenomenal. Like I was
This was solid.
It was solid, and shocking. Like my mouth, I think, was open a lot, like listening to this one. I was like, holy crap. But yeah, so going back to Sylvie, I'm so happy that didn't happen, where he didn't kill Sylvie, which I was worried about it, but I'm like, he won't. And like you said, he's listening, he's taking in all these other opinions from his friends, different people, but he's very wise at this point. Like he's always been smart, but he has time on his side now, and he has been through so much more. He's been, again, studying and, committing all this time to learn more. And he's not going to just be influenced by a few words. Like he might be a little bit, but like he comes up with his own
I think he's
idea.
taking lessons from it.
He's taking
which is
lessons.
Correct.
Yes.
But he's not just taking it at face value. He's actually internalizing it and taking correct lessons.
Exactly. And I am happy that we did see Renslayer, because I really thought she was going to have more of a role, and we didn't see Eliath, but we heard Eliath, so we can conclude, make assumptions of what happened there. Maybe she was eaten by Eliath and she's actually gone now, or who knows. I really think she's going to be around. I think she's still going to be around, and she has more of a purpose. So
they didn't say the words, but in this series, Loki.
Pick up the book so people can see, just in case. But
Loki,
if you don't mind,
Asgard.
Yes, I want to read that.
So, in this, Loki becomes something other than the god of mischief. He becomes the god of stories. And they didn't say those words here, but that's exactly what is happening. Like, he's holding it.
So even though this is a great conclusion for him, I really hope we have more of Loki in the future, because now, like, even if we don't physically see him, which makes me sad, we'll always feel his presence because he's controlling everything. So I still think we're going to hear about him. I think he is going to be, like, we're not going to see him at all, maybe just words or maybe his voice or something, but I really think he's going to have such a presence in Marvel going forward now with this knowledge that he's controlling everything. But I really hope, because I know there is a Secret Wars movie coming out. I believe that's like an Avengers movie that I've been hearing about through our fans, so thank you guys for letting us know. And I'm kind of hoping that we'll see more of Loki in that. And again, this is a fitting end for him, but I'm being selfish and I want something nicer for him. And I hope that, I think he'll be stuck doing this position, but I'm hoping he'll be able to figure something out where he can take a vacation now and again and hang out with his friends and go jet skiing with Mobius.
So I think this actually opens the door for different Lokis.
Yeah, but not our
Like,
Loki.
Kid Loki is is Loki that shows up for a while in like Young Avengers and stuff, and they've definitely been laying the ground for Young Avengers with Kamala and the twins from things like that. So I feel like that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Obviously
I can see
Sylvie's
that.
around, but Tom Hiddleston is Loki.
He's like, amazing.
He makes the role.
He does absolutely make the role, and as we know, like, we love him. We think he's a wonderful, talented actor, and his expressions in this, like, you can just feel it, and like, we have moments where, he's so great at talking, but he's also great with just feeling, like, without even saying anything. You could really feel what he's feeling, and at the end there, like, there were so many emotions where I'm like, he's kind of content, he's kind of sad, this is his glorious purpose, like the title said, and he committed himself to it, and he knows this is what he has to do. So he just has like a mix of like contentment, or just being content, and being sad at the same time, and like he knows.
Yeah, you see it. You definitely see it everywhere on his face. That was beautiful. It was just beautiful. I don't think there's another word for it. That whole scene was just
emotional too. That was beautiful, and him actually stepping up those invisible steps, going, sitting his throne, like that was really incredible. And just the scene of him walking out in just his TVA suit, transitioning, like it's pulling apart. And it's almost looking like the strings of like the threads of people coming apart, but it's actually just the clothes. Like like it turns into, it's like fabric still shredding. It turns into his cape, and then his cape all of a sudden like transitions to
swoops behind him.
Timeline strings, and so it was beautifully done, and it was
gorgeous.
Yeah, and even though it was beautifully done, but it was so ancient feeling too. Like everything looked so freaking old, like ruins, like just like super, it wasn't like shiny gold, beautifully constructed. It was more rugged and rough, and then the gold cracks all through his ancient horns. It resembled the TVA, and I just love all of that coming together. So that was a powerful scene. And the fact that, jumping to Timely, how he made it all the way to the end there, because Loki's been through this so many times and actually worked him through it. And that's a tangent, but I just love, Loki just being confident and motivating him and being like, you're doing good. Yeah, just one more step.
Like, one more step. Don't put the thing down. What did I say? Don't put the thing down.
Yes, very calm, because he's been through this so much that he's so good at, like, he has to be, because that's the only way to get through it, and it was just so great. Oh, and the button might be a little sticky, like, he didn't get mad when he put the device
Hit it again.
down. He's like,
hit the button.
Remember what we talked about, you can't put it down. Like, he's talking to a child almost, just because he has to
get the latch on the thing.
Yes, yeah. So it was actually quite fun to go through all these little things you don't even think about that were so important to make all these things happen, so we can go further down, so we can progress to where he had to go. But so it was very entertaining. I did not know what to expect this episode. With only one episode, they did it very well.
They did so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm happy Sylvie, Mobius, everyone, all of Loki's friends, like, they remember what happened. It wasn't like everything, because it wasn't like everything reset and they don't remember, because not only is Loki now burdened with this glorious purpose where people, like, they don't even realize, like, they know he worked hard and sacrificed himself for all of this to save everyone, but they don't even know to what extent he went through, like we talked about, with the centuries of time studying and, like, going through events over and over and over again. Like, that's all him. It's almost like a modest thing where he, like, no one else can be like, wow, look at all the crazy things that Loki did to protect everyone, and he is now alone and can't, like, have pleasure. He can't, like, eat. He can't just be with his friends, and yet his friends remember everything.
Yeah, they still think they're able to honor what he's done.
Yes, to a certain extent, which I really am so happy about, because I also thought for a moment that everyone was just going to reset and not really remember and kind of go, deja vu. Kind of, like, they kind of remembered certain things, or they would see each other in some way, somehow, and then be like, oh, that, you look familiar to me. But I'm glad they do remember, and Mobius is taking it hard. I understand him wanting to leave the TVA. I would love him to stay because he was so good at it, but I'm glad, like, he he's
owning up. He was hiding before, he was afraid.
Yeah, he was
and now
totally...
He's facing it, and...
Yeah, because he was so afraid to do that, and I'm really happy he's doing that now. And Sylvie, like, her meeting up with him, like, I'm glad they're still, like, the friends are still together. And I really hope the best for all of them. And I really do hope we see them in the future in a Marvel movie or something, because I just want more for Loki. And, yeah, so...
And I'm glad they now, both of them, they have choices, They have freedom, they can... And I think that's what that's the big thing, is, like, Loki's not, like... He's not controlling these timelines. He's caring for them.
Yes.
He's not... He took in Sylvie's words about, like, giving people this free will. He's making sure that they're cared for and empowered and what have you. But the people on them can do what they want. They can tell their own stories. They can live their own lives.
I know there's a lot more going on there with Loki just, like, grabbing these timelines, because I know, like, he has a lot of magic inside him, and all, again, the studying that he's done over time, like, he knows so much about how the loom works, like, even more than Obi, most likely, and he's, like, the smartest guy now, and I know, like, he's doing things, like, thinking and using energy powers to make all this happen, all this life happen, but I really think that it is strictly just that. Yeah, he can't manipulate anything in the timeline. So yeah, he's just protecting or giving life, and that is what he's supposed to do. And everyone else, like, everything, all the violence, everyone else has to control it or figure it out. And the TVA is still around, so they're doing things differently now, so they're going to have to go after all these Kangs, and I'm really curious on how that's going to work out. But selfishly, I do want to see more Tom Hiddleston as freaking Loki, and I want
so good as Loki.
Yeah, so I do believe that we will see him possibly as different variants of Loki, maybe in different
I hope so.
movies, but
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, and I'm really hoping that we do see this Loki, our main Loki. And, and I want him to have, like, another happy adventure, not just on the throne. Maybe he can train another variant and be like, can you just take my spot for a second while I do this? It might take you a few centuries, but he has all the time in the world now, so train other Lokis, and then that way you can all just take a break now and again.
Which I do understand why this would have been difficult, but I would have really liked to see when he was flashing back to different times and talking to people and getting opinions, if he'd gone back to talk to Thor.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to see. I'm hoping they'll leave that door open for more.
Yeah, because I think it just would have been nice for them to have a moment prior to this. Because I know the show hasn't talked about Thor really or done anything with Thor, but, like, Thor is a major influence on Loki's life. We can't pretend that he's not. Yeah. Like, for his character, I think it would have been nice to have, like, a small little wrap up, a small little, like.
I know they probably couldn't get him, or they didn't even have to show, like, Chris Hemsworth. I wish they could have, like, just had his voice or something, like, just something that we could tell that they had, like, some kind of discussion. But hopefully in the future we will get something like that, because that would really make it nice. And I did hear rumors from fans. I didn't look up anything yet because we didn't finish Loki and I just didn't want to be spoiled. But a few fans were mentioning that they're going to reset, like Marvel's resetting and bringing back the Avengers. I mean, I don't know about Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., but I heard that Iron Man might come back. And I'm like, I mean, I would absolutely love that. But I was like, I'm kind of, like, mixed about that, too, because that really excites me, but then it, like, demeans what happened to them, because I'm like, they died, and then anything gets... But we've seen that, because then Loki, he came back, which I am really happy about. I know, I contradict
but Loki always comes back. That's what Loki does.
I know.
That's why Thor's tattoo has Loki ? On the RIP.
I love that. And that's from Lord Thor, God and Thunder, or what was it, Love and Thunder?
Love and Thunder,
so,
yes.
yeah, you got to see that because, yeah, that was so funny. I love that tattoo. Yeah, so there's just so many possibilities, and I am excited for the future of Marvel. And Loki, this series has definitely been my favorite TV series. I know a lot of the Marvel movies, even though I was entertained by them, I know a lot of people do enjoy them. They're not as powerful, as great as the old Marvel. Like the first phases, that we saw, like the first. Well, definitely 1, 2 were good, really, really good, and then Phase 3 was decent, and yeah, so we'll see what happens. That's why they're bringing back the old Avengers, because they were so.
I know you can't go with the nostalgia. I think they're right to continue to move forward. If that's what they do end up doing, I think they're right to do it. I think it's just they probably just need some new something like this. This is nothing like a Marvel movie, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous.
It was.
Give people more story freedom. Give them more creative freedom. I think that's what it needs. It needs good creative lifeblood behind it. I don't think it's a character issue. I don't think it's a story issue. I think it's we need something fun and exciting.
Something new. Yeah, because it's hard. It's really hard because I have enjoyed the newer heroes, but a lot of times I feel like it's the same formula because they're trying to reset with younger people that, they're just like, oh, okay, well, this character is going to replace the older character and it's going to be the exact same kind of hero, maybe even the same name. And, just so people can relate to it. And then it's like the same. And sometimes formulas, they can be very good. But with superheroes, it's like you need to freshen it up. You need to try something different.
My probably the two favorite most recent Marvel movies of mine have been the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was wonderful.
And the most recent Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. And both of them are very much like the directors have a creative vision. Like they know what they're doing. James Gunn always is unique. I think he's amazing. He's always breaking the mold. And Sam Raimi is just wild and crazy. You can't.
I really like him too.
You can't rein him in.
Yeah, because I loved Spider-Man, like Tobey Maguire, because that was when I was a lot younger, and I freaking loved those movies, and he did a really good job directing those. But yeah, he's done a lot of great films too, and I really did like the Doctor Strange movie. Guardians 3, I enjoyed a lot more. They were very different kind of movies,
they're very different movies.
Yes, they're very different movies. And Guardians 3, I always loved Guardians anyways because they're my favorite and so much fun. And just my sense of humor, my energy and humor. So it's just perfectly up my alley and great. But Doctor Strange I enjoy as well, and I enjoyed that movie, and I liked the horror concept they did in that. The only thing
that's what Sam Raimi is. He does horror. He does creepy and.
Yeah, so you could feel that in there. And using the multiverse, of course, Multiverse of Madness was great. Now, the only thing I didn't like about that movie was Wanda's character, because I just had this whole idea of her being something more grander than how she was, and I think she was too one-dimensional where she was obsessed. That's a whole different conversation. But yeah, she was just too one-dimensional. Like in WandaVision, I really enjoyed her character there because she was there was a lot of complicated things going on.
Really delve into it, which is one of the things the TV shows in general get to do, is they get to take these characters and really get into the meat of them.
Yes,
a movie couldn't have done what the show did.
Yeah, and I think WandaVision and Loki were they were good series, don't get me wrong. I like Winter Soldier, but, that was good. That was a good action one. But, story-wise, I really liked WandaVision, and I really, actually, you know what? Yeah, the Winter Soldier one I really did enjoy, too. That was pretty good now. But WandaVision and Loki were definitely my favorite ones. I just really liked the storytelling. I thought it was solid. I know WandaVision was more like a goofy thing, but...
I loved WandaVision.
I did, too.
But that one did end with the big, spectacular superhero battle. I really felt like...
did.
That one probably could have been helped, the ending, with something like this, where they were willing to just take a step back and be like, what do we need story-wise? What do we need emotionally, rather than...
Big battle, and hero's gonna win,
This was just a gorgeous A+, and I can't get... I gotta rewatch this already.
Me too, because I really enjoyed this episode. I always enjoyed the Loki series, but this was impressive. I really didn't know where this was going, and I had a lot of worries watching this season alone on what was going to happen because, being having control of the multiverse or not having control of it, I'm like, okay, well, this is going to like start something new. And is it going to be bad? Are they going to just completely reset Marvel completely? And, you know, like nothing happened like before, and they're going to bring back people. So that's what I was really worried about. But I mean, it sounds like they're going to bring back actors, but at least like things that happened already in the timeline are accurate still.
Yeah. This is good for that, because it's like, it's a huge change, but it's not like it needs to be referenced in every movie, or it needs to be like, you know, we can use it and throw it into all other movies. We can like keep hints of it and stuff, but it's not like, oh, every movie now we have to talk about how we did this thing.
I know, yeah. You know, okay, one last thing. I'm sorry, because we can just talk about this all day. But can you imagine, because Loki now can control time, he can pause time around him. I wonder, like, if it's going to go way beyond that, where maybe he can, like, because he can also multiply himself, which he talked about, and projecting himself or whatever. But maybe he can come up with a new power where he can be in multiple places at once, and he can stay on that throne, but he can still like
that's what I was wondering,
and like still like visit his friends. Because I just want something a little more for him instead of just being alone the whole time.
I know, like Sylvie put her hand on Mobius's shoulder there at the end, and I'm like, they didn't show her; they just showed the hand on the shoulder. And for a quick second, I was like, is that Loki? Is Loki just there? Like he's like sending his little like.
Oh, you know, that's a good way to see it too. I like that. It's so fun, this series, because it really opens your mind even more on the possibilities of what could happen, you know? And yeah. And another thing that we did mention during the reaction is it was interesting how Loki, when he learned how to time slip, it was through himself. Like, he couldn't just, you know, because when he didn't have control...
Yeah, he didn't appear as a secondary person. It was in himself.
Yes, because when he didn't have control, he saw himself a lot of times, like, looping and doing that, you know, time slip out of controlness before, and then he, like, sees himself and then disappears. But here, he was able to stay in himself, and then he struggled to stay. So I just wanted to make that known, because I thought that was a cool idea as well. But... anything else you'd like to add, Jessica? I know we could talk about this so much. It's so fun.
I could probably talk about this. I gotta rewatch it. It was so good. I need like 500 stills of that transformation and walking up the. Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, everything was perfect, and we can't wait to hear what you guys have to say as well. This has been such a journey for us, and any theories that you have, please let us know. We love you guys. We have so many great Marvel fans on our channel who like explain to us like what's going to happen next. Not spoiling anything, but things they hear in the news about like different Marvel movies coming in, different shows to expect, any delays. Because Daredevil, I enjoyed that series, the Netflix Daredevil, and you saw She-Hulk, right, Jessica? Did you see that?
I did. She-Hulk, yes.
Okay, so Daredevil was in that, and I love Charlie Cox. He's amazing as Daredevil, and he's
great at Daredevil.
He is, and he is going to be doing a new series with the MCU or something. Like kind of, I don't know if it's going to be a reset or a continuation or a mix of the two or something, but they are redoing that entire series because I guess the writing wasn't great or they didn't like where it was going, so they actually stopped production and they're resetting, starting fresh again.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I was like, holy crap. So thank you guys for always updating us on stuff about Marvel because you really keep us in the loop. And the reason why I say that is because doing this channel, a lot of our fans don't like us researching a ton of stuff to get spoiled, but I do like to like really understand things, and I do try to look some things up once I know we're caught up, so that way you know, we're not going to be shocked by anything that we're watching and, you know, learn something that we shouldn't be learning too soon. But anywho, love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.